Welcome Shankara TV viewers and greetings to you all for today's episode. So I am continuing with this meditation. So it's very expressly clear that meditation develops that quantum state of mind in you, and with that quantum state of mind, quantum I have already told you is a subatomic state, and with that state you are able to merge yourself with a wave formation, which is the natural formation in this universe with interconnectivities, and with that wave formation where you are in through meditation, achieving a delta wave of 0 to 4 frequency. At that point, as I already told you, you will be able to connect to cosmic forces, and through that cosmic forces you can develop what is known as the intuitive ability, that is the induced intuitive ability, just like I would say the induced radiation of a radioactive atom. So you can yourself induce that if you adopt meditation, just like when in a radioactive atom like uranium-235, they induce radioactive process by bombarding it with neutrons, and thereby a fission is created, energy released. Similarly, by inducing yourselves to meditation and achieving that quantum state, you can actually connect yourself to the cosmic forces, giving you the ability of intuition, just like the atoms are given the ability to release energy. So this is the one of the very fundamental points which one has to know about this meditation. Meditation not for the sake of meditation with Vedas or our Upanishads say, or any modern guru says. Meditation itself per se has a scientific background for positive thoughts, for developing your mind, for connecting your mind, also for nicely firing your neurons together so that they wire together. Meditation is the only process, a mental process. You have to develop mentally by using mental methods, not by taking capsules or injections for your body. There may be interconnectivity between a body and a brain, which we do not refute, but there is something called the ghost force available to the mental field, to the quantum field, and that has to be explored, and that was found to be scientific on measuring your brain waves. There are lots of physicists, biologists who have found out, have done research and are convinced about their methods and their findings. Meditation also helps you to develop your willpower. As I said, some get automatic willpower, inherited willpower. Some get what is known as the induced willpower. Robert Bruce had an automatic inherited willpower. 6 times he went into a cave and saw the spider falling, and finally the spider climbing up. The spider was unable to climb up. It fell. He was watching it calmly. You must have read, all of us have read that in our school days. And then finally the spider goes up. It has its own, the small creature has its own willpower. Noticing that its willpower, its mental makeup, Robert Bruce, the defeated Scottish chieftain, defeated several times, battle weary, tired, depressed, got motivated on seeing a spider, a small insect. If that spider, a small insect, can have so much of a motivation and willpower, that even after falling 6, 7, 10 times, it again wants to climb up. Why, as a human being, I should not have that willpower? Let me go and fight the battle once again. He went, fought and won. He might not have meditated, but he had concentrated on one object. He had meditated on one object, a small creature. That object was a small creature. He meditated on that creature, he concentrated on that creature, he took interest on that creature because he saw what that creature was doing. That tiny insect was climbing up, falling down, climbing up and falling down several times, up and down, and then finally it landed its spot. That means a concentration, an interest on something, thoughtlessness to other activities, thoughtful to that particular activity, a form of a meditation. He developed his willpower. And once he develops his willpower, he went to the battle and won. Mahatma Gandhi had the same willpower. Mahatma Gandhi had the willpower to throw an empire off. And that was due to his concentrated attention on his thoughts. Concentration, attention on a particular field. That is a form of a meditation. He meditated on one idea. He concentrated on one idea, that he made an impossible thing possible. Is it really possible to throw out an empire from a vast country, that too through a process called non-violence, without picking up even a knife? What was the caliber of Mahatma Gandhi? And that is why Einstein the Great spoke very highly about our saint Mahatma Gandhi. He never spoke anything about Prophet Muhammad or Christ or Krishna or Buddha, anybody, but he spoke of Mahatma Gandhi. And what he said, generations to come, it is scarce to believe that such a man walked on the face of this earth in human flesh and bones. Generations to come, he said, it is impossible to believe, it is scarce to believe that such a man walked on the face of this earth in human flesh and bones. What high words Einstein the Great has used on a simple puny man. Physically he is puny. What about mentally? Mentally he was stronger than an empire. The collective empire could not dethrone Mahatma Gandhi. The collective empire where they say that sun does not set, where they conquered most of the world, and where their language even today is being used, not only here but throughout the world. That empire was thrown out from our land by Mahatma, and he was a puny man, not knowing how to even take a blade in his hand. Now what does it show? Is it the physical strength or is it the mental strength? And how did Mahatma Gandhi obtain the mental strength? He was not a saint from a saint family. He was born into an ordinary family in South Africa. From Gujarat, they migrated. He was living there, came back. A very ordinary family, not a wealthy family, not from a princely family, not from a saintly family. But he developed his mental strength. He developed his concentration power. He developed his mental skill, because that is important and not your physical skills. Physically he was a puny man, very doubtful whether he can even run fast. So what all these show? Why I am explaining to younger generation especially? This is the route to follow. Develop your mind through positive thoughts. Your mind can be strengthened only by positive thoughts. If you have all those negative thoughts like worry, anger, hatred, jealousy, criticism, you are damaging. Just like you damage a body by taking alcohol or smoking cigarettes, or by taking non-vegetarian food or unpleasant food, In the same way, you will be damaging your mind by having all these negative thoughts. That much is very certain and clear. Mahatma Gandhi had that will and power. It's a classic example for Indians like us, for the world, even for Einstein. That means positive thoughts also gives you that concentration, the willpower to do things. What is concentration? Beautifully they explain in Chandogya Upanishad, chapter 2, text 3, verse 1. What is that concentration? The Rishi says to his Shishya, the devotee, Varshati ha asmai varshayati. Varshati ha asmai varshayati ha ya etati evam vidwan vrishtau. Vidwan vrishtau sama upasate panchavidagum sama upasate. Varshayati means it will rain. To him who can cause that rain, varshayati. Haya evam etat evam vidwan. Know that vrishtau. Panchavigam, one who uses his 5 senses and concentrates. Upasate means here who meditates. Who meditates through his 5 senses can cause a rainfall. He can be the cause agent for the rainfall by using his 5 senses. What a beautiful verse the Rishi says about concentration, about meditation. You can cause a rainfall, he says, by using your 5 senses and meditate. If you think of that it is going to rain, you can cause that rainfall. Varshati means rainfall. Ha asmai varshayati, he can cause that rainfall. What more do you want? That is what Mahatma Gandhi did. He meditated on the freedom of India. He meditated on one single concept of driving an empire out. He only used his mental power. Physically he was a puny man, but mentally he was taller than the Everest. No force, no power on earth could stop a simple non-violent struggle. Non-violent is a pure positive concept, just like bliss. Shanti we say in Veda, Shanti, Shanti. It is a peaceful process which has such a devastating power, such a very classical high power, very powerful than the nuclear energy, that it emptied the British from India. Whereas Americans had to use a nuclear bomb, killing lot of persons in a violent way to end a war, to use all their technological prowess in bombing. At the same time, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, to put an end to the war, even after Hitler had died. Whereas couple of years later on, a puny man who does not know even to ride a bicycle, if you blow, he may even fall. If a wind blows, he may not even have the strength to stand up on the same place. Never revealed any thermonuclear effect. Never revealed shock waves that can devastate a city. Never knew what is an atom bomb. Never knew what is an atom. But he knew what is known as the atomic strength of mind. He could really fission the atoms inside his mind. He could generate power by creating fission of the atoms inside his brains, and that power silently drove the British out, drove an empire out, vacated the entire Indian nation, everywhere, Pakistan, India and Bangladesh. He vacated them without shedding a single drop of tear, a single drop of blood. Do you call this as what? Do you want to call this as power? Or do you want to rate this with some other power? Or is it possible for you to explain this power? This power was obtained by Mahatma Gandhi himself only by the force of his positive thinking, that is, his force of his mind. The force of his mind was sufficiently powerful to create a nuclear power unheard in the annals of human history, that it could drive out an empire without having any shock waves, or without creating fire, or without creating any energy manipulations, and without shedding a drop of blood. We got the entire nation back. So I have explained to you, the Americans had to stop a war by bombarding Nagasaki and Hiroshima with nuclear bombs. See, what I am telling you is, it is not the question of any comparison. It is a question of driving through a point, driving a point to all of you, that the mental power, the power of mind, can create a positive thought, and if the positive thought is propelled, it is just like a bullet coming out from a gun, it can achieve its realized end. The power is so great. But if you have those negative thoughts in you, you are shattered. A person, any person, I, you, or the entire human world, even the inventor of a nuclear bomb has to have a positive mind. All those physicists, all those brilliant NASA scientists, all those brilliant ISRO scientists, all have one thing in common. They are driven by positive thinking. Some may realize that they are driven by positive thinking. Some may not be aware that they are driven by positive thinking. But the fundamental underlying current is, all of them are driven by positive thinking. And without positive thoughts and positive power, the question of achieving any positive results is highly impossible. Without realizing, you may be achieving a positive result, but that positive result is due to your positive thoughts flowing into that which you may not have realized. It is not the question of realizing a positive thought, but it's a question of realizing that positive thoughts do achieve any field, for any person, for any age, at any circumstances, at any times. This is the science. Not only meditation, I would like to explain to viewers, there are other methods also to improve your positive thoughts, to improve your positive thinking. One has to basically rewire their brains. For persons who are not meditators, or who are not exposed to this culture of meditation, a psychological tools are available to improve also your positive thoughts. One of them is, first you have to rewire your brain, you have to recondition your brain, you have to do the zero-based budgeting. You have to come to the floor level and then take and analyze, introspect, and take the right path. There is nothing wrong in that. You have to think properly, introspect properly, how to go about it. Now, one of the essential tools available is, they generally say, is your visualization method. That is, you dream that you are going to achieve. Suppose you are wanting to go into a job in a multinational company, you are going to attend an interview. You dream as if you attended the interview. You visualize as if you got the job. You visualize as if you are employed there, you are getting your salaries. You visualize as if you are interacting with your superiors there. You visualize as if you are getting promotions there. You visualize as if you are working for a longer periods there. You are very happy there. You are getting the job satisfaction there. You are getting the remuneration as you expected there. You start visualizing. You start imagining that atmosphere. You start imagining that company, that place, the executives would have met, or some executives are going to meet in some form, as if a man is standing before you, your supervisor or your manager in his three-piece suit, if it is a multinational company. You start enjoying on that visualization. You start enjoying on those visuals. You visualize. You dream. Hitch your wagon to the star, said Jawaharlal Nehru. You dream as if you are on that higher plane. Now this will create some waves. This will create some waves in your thought process that your subconscious mind will slowly start realizing that this is what you want, and being divine by itself, being connected to some cosmic force by nature by itself, this visualization, dream, would take you there, would take you to that job. You have to be positive. You should never have even a doubt whether I will get this job. Oh, will I get this job? That is a negative thought. That is a negative thought. You are putting negative seeds. You are putting negative cells which will create pus cells in your brain. You are putting some blocks. You yourself are putting some roadblocks, putting a stone on the highway. So do not think that. You start visualizing. You start dreaming, you start thinking, you start practicing as if you are going to the office daily, to that office, even 2-3 days before your interview. You completely assume that you have got the job. Now, in that case, what happens is, there may be some force, some cosmic force, some divine force, or even your subconscious mind would have already established some contact with some divinity, that it will take you to the right path unknowingly to you. It will guide you, navigate you, lead you to the right path of your objective. What is your objective? To get the job. Therefore, this visualization is very important. That is your dream. I told you, even a sportsman should dream. The Indian hockey team should dream as if they are lifting the cup and all of them are enjoying. The Indian hockey, each player should as if practice dribbling of the hockey stick with the ball in his mind, as if he is passing from here to his friend there, from that player to that player. He can himself fantasize or imagine the play before actually going to the field playing. And I have already told you about the test results, where it is more or less the same, 24% improvement and 23% improvement between two groups, one which practiced on the field and one which practiced on mind, in the field of mind. Therefore, that means the mental power is there. The mental power has got the connection with those minute atoms which would set in motion those divine forces, and they will hit the target and they will give you the produced results. So, visualization, visualizing, dreaming the positive object, the positive goal you are aiming at will produce the desired result. But all these endings, all these desires should be positive, cannot be evil karmic influences. You cannot, for example, visualize as if you are stealing somebody else's money. That is totally on the negative area, and that negative area will not work. The system, the universal atoms are not built on negative areas, karmic influences, evil karmic influence areas. Your brain is divine because you are divine. You are divine because the universe is divine, and the universe is divine, and the universe is within you. The Atma is within you. The Brahma is also within you. It cannot be outside you. So you have to be divine. So your thoughts have to be divine. And it works only when you have divine positive thoughts. It cannot work on a negative thought. Evil karmic influences. These are all negative areas. I have already told you, this is about the power of the positive thinking, not the power of the negative thinking. Therefore, this works. Even the sportsmen, if they start dreaming, if they start playing in their mind their dribbling skills, or the cricketer his bowling skills, or in the cricket the batsman of his batting skills, imagining as if he is hitting the ball for over the boundary for a 4 or a 6, the bowler spinning very well, the ball is turning very well, leg breaks or off breaks, or the pace bowler bowling at a high speed, at quick angles, acute angles, swinging the ball. If those respective players visualize their own physical practical training mentally, you find the results. I challenge. The results will be as good or more or less same with the practical results, and it adds to when you practice on field. Because even while bowling, you will be thinking first before delivering the ball that you are going to bowl a leg break or an off break. The thought flash comes 5-6 seconds before your action is delivered. Your mind makes up whether you are going to hit it for a 6 or a 4, whether you are going to swing leg side or whether you are going to swing offside the bat. Nothing is done without the permission of the mind. Therefore, if you give training to the mind, even for sports persons, it would be wonderful that you can improve your skills manyfold. And this is a challenge, this is a guarantee. You practice by seeing this. You practice, you imagine. Whenever you are on flight for next match, at least you try to practice. Early morning you can meditate on that skills. You can even imagine as if you are bowling leg breaks, off breaks, you are pitching on the target. Therefore, visualization skills through meditation, through power of positive thinking is a very important tool. Dear viewers, we shall continue the same in our ensuing episodes. Till such time, I thank you all for watching this episode. Thanking you.